Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of our Football 101 series. Today we're going to be breaking down Cover 2 Zone Defense. Cover 2 Zone Defense is a middle of field open coverage. If you're not sure what that means, pause this video and go check out our first video in this series where we broke down coverage shells. But basically what it means is that there is an opening in the middle of the field because the safeties are split on either side. Now there's various strengths and weaknesses associated with this sort of a coverage. One of the strengths is that it's better against passing because it takes a player out of the box and it allows them to be better in coverage. On the flip side, one of the weaknesses is that because there's one less person in the box, it is weaker against the run. But we're going to focus mainly on passing strengths and weaknesses. Now in this coverage, your cornerbacks typically will line up close to the line of scrimmage and they'll try to press the outside receiver to disrupt timing and rhythm. And they'll try to force an inside release. And we'll talk about why in just a moment. And then they rally down and they cover the flats. And so one of the strengths of this coverage is its coverage in the flats because cornerbacks are typically going to be better in coverage than a linebacker and strong safety duo will be in cover 3 zone when we get there. But there are some weaknesses. One of the weaknesses is this hole over the middle of the field. This is called the hole. Because the safeties have to each cover half of the field, there's always an area that can be attacked in the middle of the field. Also, there's an area that can be attacked down the boundary, down the sideline. This is why it's very important for corners to force inside releases. The safety has so much ground to cover that if you can get a free release up the sideline, you can hit that route to the receiver before the safety can ever get there. And so we'll show some of the examples of that here in just a moment, but some coverages will have a rule that says if the corner can't force an inside release, he has to carry that outside receiver vertically to prevent this from happening. Also, sometimes there'll be rules that say if 2 receivers go vertically on the same side of the field, the cornerback should convert to man coverage on that outside receiver to help protect that boundary. Now let's talk about some of the concepts that can exploit cover 2. The first concept we're going to talk about is smash. In this play, this fullback is going to check a block and then he's going to release into the flat. Our motioning receiver is going to come inside and then he is going to run a corner route and then we've got a vertical route from the outside receiver. And as we roll this tape, what you're going to see happen is you're going to see this cornerback put into a conflict. Now notice how the cornerback right now is opening with his back to the sideline. His eyes are on the quarterback. This is so he can read the quarterback. He sees there is nothing threatening the flat right now, and so he's going to continue to sync with this route. And you can see that this corner route, it's covered. But there's 12 to 15 yards of space here to throw this check down route, which is the route that Justin Herbert's going to throw. And you see that the Eagles do a really good job of rallying and tackling. They hold it to only about a 3-yard gain. And so that's one of the key things with cover 2. You have to be able to rally and tackle in the flats because the flats are typically what you're going to give up. Now in this example, this is going to be another smash concept. This time it's going to be the running back releasing to the flat. The tight end is going to run a corner route. And then the outside receiver is going to run a post route. But it does the same job of driving the safety off. And so watch this corner be put in conflict and just see how he responds as we roll this play. So at the snap of the ball, notice that he sees this guy releasing and he starts to drive down and he only takes 2 steps before he realizes that he made a mistake. But the mistake has already been made. The tight end is past him. There's a big window to throw this ball into and there's no way that the cornerback can recover to that. And so you see this is just going to be an easy touchdown for Dallas. And so the whole point of a smash concept is to put that outside cornerback into conflict and then make him wrong. If he goes deep, throw the check down. If he comes down, you can throw that corner route. Now let's watch this play by the Chiefs. So we're going to have Tyreek Hill motion across, and he's going to run just a little hitch route, and we've got a corner route. So we've got a smash concept to one side. To the top side, we have what is called a dagger concept. The slot receiver is going to run a vertical route to drive off the safety, and then we're going to loop behind with a dig route. So let's watch the bottom of the screen first. So on the bottom of the screen, number 3, you notice he's going to open up again, now he gives that outside release, but it doesn't really matter because it's just a little hitch route. And you see, this is open. This corner route is open because number 3 has sunk down on this route. But that's not where Mahomes is looking. Mahomes is looking at this dagger concept at the top of the field. And you'll notice on this dagger concept, it's driving off the safety. This middle linebacker is pulling. And so if we roll the tape here, this is going to be open. Mahomes would have a chance to throw this. Right now, you see this is open. There's a spot here that he can put the ball in, but he's already going down. And this is why your pass rush is so important. Because without a pass rush, this is going to be a completion. Every defense has a weakness, but you have to disguise it long enough for your pass rush to get home. And that's what happens on that play. Now let's talk about another concept. This one is called a divide concept. We're going to have our top tight end here is going to run a corner route. It's going to serve to pull off this safety. And then our underneath tight end is going to run a post route to attack the middle of the field. And so we can roll the tape here. And you'll see that as soon as this safety takes the step down, Dak knows he's going to throw this ball. And now this is a tremendous place to have a safety. Anytime he's got his back turned, he's having to spin around, you have him exactly where you want him. And so Dak's going to deliver this throw into this huge area in the middle of the field. Now, he should have led this a little more towards the middle. So it's a little bit of a bad throw here, and it's a bad drop. The safety is able to recover and make that play, but it never should have happened. The divide concept worked, but the execution just wasn't there. And now finally, let's look at one last example. We're going to have this outside receiver is going to run a vertical route. The inside receiver is going to run a deep curl, which is still classified as a vertical route. And so watch the interaction with the corner and the receiver at the bottom of the screen when I hit play. What went wrong? What went wrong was that he allows an outside release. He lets the corner get to the outside. Now, if this was not a play action to where the quarterback was booting, if he was just straight dropping, he's loading up and throwing this now. Because this is huge opening at the boundary here, and he could have made that throw. Now, because it was a play action, it doesn't cost the Eagles on this particular play. But you can see where that opening is there to hit the boundary against cover 2. The safety is split between these two guys. He's got no help for either one, and so he's got to keep gaining depth. And you can see that the inside receiver just sits down in the deep seam there, and he's going to be wide open for a big completion from Zach Wilson. And so you can see that there are strengths and weaknesses to every type of defense or everything that the defense can throw. With cover 2 particularly, you're weak over the middle of the field in the holes with divide and dagger concepts, and then you're weak to the boundary with verticals concepts and with smash concepts. So the defense is always going to try to disguise their coverage. They can go single high and they can rotate into cover 2. They can run cover 2 trap, some other looks that we talked about in our first video on coverage shells. Ultimately, it is a chess match between the quarterback and the defensive coordinator to see who can get into the right look, confirm their pre-snap read post-snap, and then deliver a throw with timing and anticipation. I hope this video was helpful to you explaining cover 2 zone coverage. We'll be back next week to break down another key defensive coverage.